Good evening traders, it's Simon with your weekly review of Aussie dollar, pound yen and euro dollar. So over the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months, we've been claiming that the US dollar will start breaking down out of its bullish trend, and as you can see now, last week on the dollar index DXY, we broke down here, escaping this upward sloping trend line. Again on the US dollar index as well, this is a cleaner one, broke down quite nicely, bearish engulfing candle there. So I feel that now we will start having some bearish dollar trades coming into it, which means Aussie dollar long, euro dollar long, dollar CAD short, etc, etc. So that's what I'm looking for now. So we were right to anticipate this move break to the downside. If you look here, RSI was at 100, and the chart just kept going up and up and up, but it was struggling all the time, forming this rising wedge. You could say, however, as well, you've got this head and shoulder pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder here. I'm not advocating that just yet. I'm not a firm believer that will actually happen just because of everything else that's going on in the world. But just for the moment, in the next few weeks or so, we can make some money. On the dollar index, this one here, the US dollar index, we could obviously go down to 12100 on the weekly chart. That would be where I'm targeting from, and obviously the daily chart from that would be, we'll just plot that line in as well, we will. 201, and there you go, lines up there quite nicely. So this area here where it moves to the next couple of weeks would be ideal. That's what I'd be expecting the move to come down to. But how do we get there? Little move down, pop back up. Let's test the daily 50 EMA. If you get a break, you go to break of the daily 50 EMA, a move up to test daily 50 EMA would be absolutely fabulous and give you some good shorting opportunities on the US dollar. So what does that do for the Aussie dollar? Well, to be honest with you guys, after the market crashed last week, where this huge breakdown here and all the safe havens powered up, we have got this super low test here. So if we just take that out as well for the moment, the market itself did actually start trending upwards again on the lower time frame. So the weekly chart does give that impression. The RSI hasn't been there, but it's been here before, you see. So you could say you got bullish RSI again on the weekly chart, the same as the dollar index. Come down to the daily chart, the thing that does concern me here is we are at the daily 50 EMA. So again, a pop up, pop down, to break and retest the daily 50 EMA would be spectacular. Something like we did here and here, that would be quite nice to see. And then we should start seeing some serious moves out of this area. And again, up to at least the highs of 735 and maybe 750, depending how the market reacts. But that would be something I'd like to see. Euro dollar next. So euro dollar is a bit messier than anything else. What's happening? It's popped down and it's just chopped around here for several weeks. It has. And again, the same thing here. We've got this RSI divergence we have, but it never really done anything until recently. And even now, when you look at it on the daily perspective, this does look like a pile of mess. But notice here, this free touch trend line almost. This was key to actually holding the price up. And obviously, although I did draw this downward sloping trend line in, we chopped through it quite a few times. So the fact we rejected the bottom trend line nicely and was chopping in and out of this downward sloping trend suggested to me we would break out to the upside. Notice as well, this bullish engulfing candle, although formed on low volume, it has moved up nicely. I do see a move up to at least 1.157 now. My overall target on a weekly perspective, if we do get there, is this blue box here, which would be about 1.18 area. That's what I'm targeting next. But that don't be with break and retest of the week with the weekly in mind as well. So it needs to trend. So for me to do that, very quickly outline. I'd want it to, my first target is 1.157. If we break past that, something like this, move back down to there, and then if we got that, I would then take the trade back up, the second trade up to like that. That's what I'd be looking for. And that is quite possible, because bear in mind we've been trapped around here for such a long time. That is quite a possible scenario now as well. Pound yen, to be quite honest, pound yen I am going to leave this week. I don't like it. It worries me when I can't really predict what's going to happen. We've broken out of the 140 on a weekly chart. I did say 135, 136, but the daily has respected 136 perfectly, although the weekly doesn't show it. but RSI is at 0 on the weekly perspective. So the fact RSI is at 0 every time it goes to 0, we do get a pop up to the upside. You can see it yourself here, guys. I do feel that we have a bullish sentiment in place, but then when you look at the daily chart, for example, there is no bullish structure here whatsoever. It's falling out the sky nicely. We've got a super low test, not much volume there. We're now moving up pre-R, so for me to start going bullish, it needs to form some bullish structure. So maybe a double bottom of 136, but that's going to take several weeks. And again, if it gets up to 140 and rejects 140, that's just the next lower higher in the downward trend. So I would be careful there. Bitcoin, I've not looked at Bitcoin again this week at all. Looks like it's moved up by looks of it. The price 4,000. Let's have a look. Again, that hasn't moved whatsoever, hasn't done anything at the moment. I'm still interested to short at 6,000, so if we get a test of 6,000, this area around here, weekly 50 here, may be nice to sell a little short there, back down to the recent lows again. If you're brave enough, you've got this 774 area, and also you may have the $300 area as well if you're really brave. But for me personally, let the price come back up, let's reject this area here, and then we can get something like either here or down to there. That's what we're looking for next. That's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. But for the moment, I don't see much there at all, guys. Okay, any questions? Give us a shout. If not, we'll speak to you soon. Take care.